Hey everybody, my name is Noel and today I'm here to talk to you guys about stem cells. So, I got a question for you guys. How many of you know somebody with cancer? What about Alzheimer's? Diabetes? So, I want you all to imagine this. Imagine a world without pain, without disease. You're probably thinking, it's like, oh, that's some kind of crazy concept, but it's actually quite possible in today's society with the use of stem cells. And today, people believe that the use of stem cells will one day rid the world of disease. So, my first point, stem cells are found throughout the body, and here's a little background info for you. Stem cells are undifferentiated cells. They're no different than each other, and they can adapt to everything around them. They're like your Swiss Army knife. So, stem cells are found throughout the body. They're found in four main areas. They're found in amniotic fluid, the bone marrow, the umbilical cord, and the most controversial one, the human embryo. And they're all extremely versatile, and they're all extremely versatile, and they can be used in varying degrees. For example, just to prove this, Prussia and Henstadler actually found that amniotic fluid stem cells were extremely effective in rebuilding tissue, and they found that amniotic stem cell fluid was also useful in tissue engineering. Not to mention that they're very versatile, they can also adapt. So, say you've got bone marrow stem cells. Research by Guilherme found that bone marrow stem cells injected into damaged canine hearts actually improved the heart's function. So, a heart had a huge hole in it. The bone marrow stem cells actually rebuilt that heart and actually made it stronger. So, my second point, even though stem cells can be used to restore flesh and all that other stuff, they can also be used to fight disease. So, like many of you said earlier, you knew someone with a very serious degenerative disease like cancer or Alzheimer's. It can actually be used to cure that. In theory, stem cells, which replicate other cells, can be used to repair all these damaged tissues. Isabel Thomas proposes that stem cells could actually be used to cure diabetes. Diabetes is the absence of insulin in the body. So in theory, stem cells could be injected into the body and target those insulin receptors and eventually make new insulin. So everyone knows how diabetics are. They need to inject themselves with insulin constantly to stay alive. Well, that would remove all the pain. With just one tiny cell, it could replicate insulin and practically save everyone's lives. And not to mention Alzheimer's can be cured by this because Alzheimer's is the deterioration of the brain. Stem cells can help Alzheimer's be taken out by replicating brain cells. And not only can stem cells cure disease, it can also remake new organs. It opens up the gateway to cloning. For example, Isabel Thomas did research on a boy named Syrian Lynch. He was a boy born in Ireland with a severely closed windpipe. Syrian Lynch underwent a severe breathing problem later in his life, which required surgery. But the thing was, no one could donate him a windpipe. So the answer? A donor actually donated parts of their windpipe, and Syrian Lynch was injected with stem cells, eventually building him a new windpipe. Even though stem cell research does seem like it's all good, stem cells do have a dark history behind them. As you all know, I mentioned human embryos being involved in stem cell research. Human embryos must be destroyed in order to extract stem cells from them. And many groups find this offensive. The Catholic Church, for example, finds that stem cell research is considered murder. We are essentially becoming cattle, as one church official says. And not only do religious groups get offended, government officials have too. In fact, the British government, as stated by Joseph Pano, stated that the Warnock report that they published in the 80s was all about stem cells, and to this day it's still in full effect. In fact, the British government outlaws stem cell research on embryos that are more than 14 days old and fertilized, as they consider it murder. And it is also quite dangerous for humans, not alone. Even though it's very miraculous in curing, there have been fatalities. Isabel Thomas writes about Jesse Gislinger, who was actually killed by stem cell research. Jesse Gesslinger had a rare liver disease, and he had stem cells injected into his liver, hopefully trying to, cure his liver disease, but his body eventually rejected it, and his liver actually broke down and he died. So think about that. So even though there are all these dangers associated with stem cells, know this: would you really prolong the suffering of future generations just because you wouldn't allow one stem cell to be worked on? Think about all the pain in the world people go through. This can all be cured with stem cells. Thank you.